Sorry, I'll control that part. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Due to the time differences, I'm here today with my brother-in-law, Alfred Mack Jr.,
Welcome, welcome.
a big man. He's a jackal of everything. So today we're going to talk how you can certify your spouse with physical, emotional, and sexual gratification. Big man, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here today. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here. And I know today, oh, my mind is like, we haven't started it, and my mind is already like started rotating. Big man. So, in terms of marriage, we have some couples who struggles with their sexual interaction, how they can certify their partner with both sex, right? A lot of women are suffering because their husbands do not know how to certify them romantically, and intimate. They don't have any type of skills to go to the next level. So how do you certify your spouse?
Well, first and foremost, it's the little things that matter. You know,
Yes,
the little things that mean a lot. Long before getting to the bedroom and getting into the nitty gritty of intimacy and love making, there's just so much that can complement. That you can complement your loved one with.
that's
Um,
right.
let's begin with by first and foremost is paying attention. You know,
Mm,
paying attention, to your loved one. Just noticing those things. And it's for instance, if your wife goes out, and she gets her hair done, and you come home and you see her, that's something you got to take heed to. You
that's
got to notice it. And the compliment, as opposed to, you have some folks who are so caught up on how much did the hairdo cost, where did the money come from, that you're really just missing the really small thing, and that is your wife looked good. She looks
that's
different.
right.
She's wow. It's like, so the compliment, is critical. Okay. Remember, one of the those little comments and the things that you say, it matters a whole hell of a lot.
Most
So
definitely, yes.
paying attention and complimenting, is look, it's one of the most beautiful things in the world. We all, and it works both ways. I mean, when your husband comes back from the barber shop and he's looking good and he's got that nice, outfit on, whatever have you, you want to compliment.
That's
You want to take heed. You want to pay attention. Pay attention to what you have at home, and that loved one and that spouse that you have, when they put on that outfit and that outfit is fitting nicely or whatever, you want to compliment, take heed, pay attention, you know um don't get so comfortable in your marriage to whereas you don't see one another.
right, Taisha.
You don't see the differences, you don't see the changes, and you don't see those things that stands out, whether it can be a new pair of earrings, that makes the, face glow, again, it can be that hairdo, it can be that outfit, it can be something as simple as that new bra, that your wife bought, the new pair of panties, that she has on or whatever. Take heed, to recognize, and not only to just recognize, but to compliment. It's like I said before, so many of us are caught up, into like our finances and what it takes to maintain household and family and things of that nature, that we really, really forget to pay attention to our loved one, to our other, that wife, that spouse, that person that means a lot to us. So to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
pay attention, take heed, compliment, appreciate, notice, you know,
Mm.
and, don't just take it as a grain of salt, I mean, if you notice that your wife has on a new pair of earrings and it looks nice, say something about it, compliment, you know. The other thing is, we can't forget that
That's right.
romance, being romantic and being mindful of it. It comes in its very, very simplest terms of, take the time, open the car door. There are times where as I'm walking down the street with my wife, and she's like, when I notice when we cross the street, you always switch sides to whereas, you want me walking on the inside. As well, that's just a courtesy thing for me. If a car jumps the curb, whatever have you, I want to be able to push you out of the way or something like that. But it's something that she finds it's very romantic, and it's something as simple as that.
Mm.
Something as simple as, like I said, opening that car door, something as simple as, having your wife come home, and guess what? Dinner was all done. I took the time, I made dinner, I did this, I did that, because I know you were going to be tired, when you get in, and your food is in the microwave. All you have to do is just heat it up, you know,
Mm.
things of that nature, being romantic. And look, fellas, I'll say this before and I'll say it again. Don't wait until your wife dies to buy her flowers.
Please increase the volume on that and repetition on that. We
You know,
welcome everybody. Sanisha
it's
Wapa.
like, it's funny to whereas, when we go to the prom or we go to the high school dance or whatever, we get the corsage, we get the flowers. On occasion, we'll get flowers. Maybe on the anniversary, maybe on Valentine's Day, we may get flowers with the candy or whatever have you. Okay, great. But guess what? You don't need an occasion to buy your wife flowers. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, it doesn't even have to be flowers. It can be a plant if she likes plant and she likes growing things, But look, don't wait until your wife's funeral to buy flowers.
Amen to that. Oh,
It's and not only that, it looks good in the house,
yes.
you know, on the car, and it's just a reminder of simply doing those small little romantic things that says, "Hey,
Mhm.
I was thinking about you today."
That's
You know,
right.
and we all have cell phones,
Hmm.
and we use them to communicate. But we use them to simply say, "Hey, I was thinking about you," and send the big heart. You on my mind or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Or if you want to even take it a step further, when you're at work, and you go to use the bathroom or whatever, if you want to take a picture of your private part and send it to your wife and say, "Hey,
Ew, Big Ben, that is like no way because those can end up in somebody else's hands. I
look,
I I know
the,
of.
the, the only thing that I recommend with that is just make sure when you press send that it's actually going to your wife."
There's a lady, she's a pastor's wife, and
Yeah.
she did some nasty stuff with the husband who is the pastor, and she recorded the video, and when she sent it to her husband, she accidentally sent it to a church group.
Oh, jeez. Well,
Not she sent it to an actual group of people, more than 10 people. So can you imagine how you delete that if one person had already opened that
yeah,
video?
it's really, that's why I say, if you do that, you have to be real careful before you even press send. You have to pay attention. But look, again, take the time out. It's those little things long before you even get to the bedroom or to intimacy that matters. Being romantic, we get so caught up in our everyday lives.
Yes.
Just
Some
a
of
couple
us,
months.
big man, let me ask you something. Some couples, one partner may be always busy and do not even, spend any quality time with their partners. I mean, I'm going to speak in the aspect of some Ghanaian men. They are unromantic. They don't even know how to be intimate with their wives. Some of them don't even know how to kiss. A simple kiss, they don't know how to do that. They don't know how to like sweet talk with their partner, their spouse, or like be nasty, like say some really stuff, things that will kind of like enlighten their partner. But the things that they do, it makes their female partner so dull. So the female partner don't get any excitement from them. Keep in mind, before most couples get married, most women and men are not virgins. They have been with someone before that. So the person that they may have been with was romantic or knows how to do all these things, but they made a decision not to be with the person because of some poor characteristic about the person. But then they find someone they like and the person cannot satisfy them in bed. How do you go around that to make adjustment and kind of fix that problems in the bedroom?
Well, with that's communication. You have to be able to communicate, and I'm not talking about communicate on all those things that's grandiose and fun
Mm-hmm.
and loving, because see, in all actuality, you know, aside from those people who's never been on a date,
Mm-hmm.
never been out, with the other sex or whatever,
Yes.
which is very minuscule. Those people are minuscule. But the majority of us have been exposed to romance in some form or another.
That's right.
Whether it's, it was in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
when you and your wife met and you fell in love and the romance was nice or whatever,
Yeah.
but now you've gotten so comfortable, or whether it was with someone else, and now you're married to a new person and you're looking for those same things,
That's
you know,
right.
you had in the beginning, but it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Over a period of time, you're so stuck on the missionary position that you're not exposing yourself or broadening your horizon,
New
you know,
things.
to new things, to flipping over and doing it in this position and doing it in that position
That's
and doing
right.
it in the kitchen, in the bath,
Nice. Thank you.
So one of the things that I will say, is first and foremost is communication, because communication is key. And let's not say that talking about intimacy and talking about
Great love. Thank you.
it's not taboo. You
That's
know, you should be comfortable enough, particularly with the person you share your bed with,
right.
to
Mm-hmm.
talk about anything.
That's
So let's get away from the stigma.
mm.
Talking about sex is taboo, because it's not.
It is not, but when it comes to the Ghanaian community, it is taboo. They made it taboo because like having this type of conversation about sex itself is not something that a lot of people are used to it. Even people mentioning penis and vagina is an issue for them. They don't want to like, do that. But then you have some married couples struggling, and you do have some men, big men, I kid you not, rather rather big love. Some men, like all they know is just pulling the wife's underwear, panties out and just carrying their penis and put it in the inside and then thrusting. That's it. There's no type of nothing.
But that's boring.
So can you imagine? But it's
Uh,
happening.
You
It
know,
is happening in some bedrooms. And then we do have some men who also, complain about their wives. They lay down like a wood. They don't touch them. They don't make any effort to be romantic. They just lay there and don't do nothing. So it's like for a man, they just want to get it over with. Just get there, papa, and get up, because the woman is not helping. So it goes both ways.
Okay, so with that, I hear what you're saying, and it seems to me like stimulation, you know,
Mhm.
stimulation, foreplay, and fun.
That's
Okay?
right.
Stimulation, foreplay, and fun.
Mhm.
Being able to be stimulated, first and foremost, there are so many erogenous zones on the human body
That's
that
right.
stimulate you and almost bring you to the brink, of an orgasm, you
Yeah,
know, without even before you even get into the penis and the vagina thing. You
that's
know,
right.
I'm really, really recommending, that both parties really
And you understand, Lucy?
take the time to explore your spouse and to
That's right.
explore your significant other. You'll be amazed. You will
Things
simply be
will
if you
cover.
take time, something as simple as getting some nice, body oil, or
Oh
you can get some grapeseed
my
oil,
God.
all natural. And when your wife, or your husband gets out of the shower, take the time to give them a body rub down or something. You know,
Thank you.
because when you do that, this
Mhm.
is where you find where those erogenous zones are.
I'm
You
fine.
know,
That's right.
and so you'll find that there are parts of the neck that's really sensitive. You'll
Mhm.
find that the back of the knees and things of that nature are really sensitive.
That's
You'll
right.
find that a simple massage of the foot can practically bring your wife to an orgasm.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
It's but you won't know these things
If you
if
don't exploit.
if you don't open yourself up to exploring. Look,
Mm,
let me tell you something. From head to toe, the human body is a very, very fun place.
that's right.
It's a gift of God and it's creation. So in order for you to take the time to explore, who's to know? Who's to say? Who's to say that one day you took the time,
Mhm.
before your wife got out of the shower and she's about to put on deodorant, and you just happened to kiss her right up under her arm, and
Yeah.
she went into convulsions and having almost an orgasm? Would you have known that haven't you take the time to do that? You know,
No.
so would you know that, look, there's nothing wrong. The same way that there's nothing wrong with massaging your wife's feet, there's nothing wrong with sucking on her toes either. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you have to take the time to explore. Don't be so closed minded. Oh, well, I'm not doing that. You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
Look,
big man, I mean, I understand where you're going with that, and massages and, exploring the body is like, very romantic and very intimate. But we do have some husbands and some wives who whose body odor, like their hygiene is very bad.
well, see, always remember what I start off with.
I know.
I start off with after they've taken a bath or after taking a shower. And look, and hey, bottom line is look, we want to be sanitary. Okay,
Yeah,
we want to be hygienic. We want to be helpful. Look,
yes.
first of all, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not kissing no
That's
vagina
for
that
everybody.
smells like a freaking fish market. You understand what I'm saying?
Big man fish market. Big man. Like we do have some adults, married couple, some of them do not know how to wash themselves properly. They would take a shower and they still smell nasty as fuck.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, some of them literally they don't know how to wash their behind. They don't know how to wash their genital area. We do have some men who do not know how to even, keep their penises and testicles underneath, to groom that area. They don't know how to do that. We have some grown ass women who do not know how to clean their vagina properly. The lips, they don't even clean over there. Like, I mean, some of them smells like onion. I mean, we a lot of people are suffering in their
it,
marriages.
it's important. It's really really important to remember, particularly in this day and age, that we must. It is essential. You understand what I'm saying? That you take care of yourself hygienically. Now,
That's
I'll say this before, and I hate to put it out there, but sometimes, we, I mean, wives sometimes going into a marriage have to revert back to being a mother again. You know
that's right.
what I'm saying? And really, taking the time to bathe their husband just to show them what the hell to do. It's like, look, I'm not doing this all the time, but I'm
That's
going to take time to bathe you so that you can see how to clean the crack of your ass and up underneath your nuts and your penis and whatever have you, particularly those men who are not circumcised.
that's
If
right.
circumcised, underneath that foreskin and all of that stuff, a lot of,
Really, you got to push it back and
yeah, a lot
clean
of
it.
bacteria builds up or whatever, whatever. At the same time, it's simultaneous, for women. If you may have, I mean, husbands who have to take the time, to literally bathe their wives and show them exactly how to get into the creases and the carry it and the crevices, of their vagina, lips, and the vulva, and all up in between,
Yeah,
vagina and the butthole, and even, around the butthole. And you have to keep yourself clean.
that's right.
And remember, that I know that in some cultures, it's like the actual natural body odor is attractive to
They
people.
prefer that. You're right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I get that. I understand that. So that means that you have to keep yourself clean a lot more.
That's right.
Plain and simple. If you don't want to put on, deodorant, under your arms or whatever because you want to seem attractive, to the opposite sex, okay,
Mhm.
well then fine. So that means that you should be, bathing in the morning, bathing in the evening when you get home or whatever have you. And at least twice a day that you should
That's
be
right.
bathing yourself. Now look, I know for a fact that in many cultures and around many of places that folks are comfortable with jumping in the shower and jumping out or whatever have you. You have to take the time to soak your body and to open up those pores. To
That's
where you're soaking in a bathtub of nice hot water, you're letting your pores open, and also when you're doing that, you understand what I'm saying, you have that water all over your body, all the way up to your neck. You're sitting down in that tub and you have that water just going all over the place. You wash, you bathe yourself, and then once you're done, you can turn on the shower to get like an extra rinse or whatever have you. It's important to do that, particularly, if you're experiencing body aches and pains and things of that nature. But in reality, it's also a way for you to open up your pores. It's like a deep cleaning. And look, folks, do not be afraid to explore your own body, particularly when you're in the bathroom. It is important for you to do that, especially when you're washing yourself.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
really, really important for you to get in between those toes.
That's
It's really, really important for you to get into the crevices and the cracks of your behind,
right.
around your butthole, and all those other areas. Like I said before, you just can't wash around and run the rag or whatever your sponge along. You have to take the time to just, yeah, take a minute to wash it. You understand what I'm saying? Wash
That's
it the way that it's supposed to be washed. You know,
yeah.
underneath your testicles the way it's supposed to be washed. That space in between your testicles and
And
your
your penis. Yeah.
it's just make sure it's thoroughly clean. Take your time. You don't jump in a shower and jump out and think your ass is clean. Excuse my language.
Mhm.
No, it's not.
and
You
and and you know, big man, the base of the penis, a lot of some men don't know that they don't clean the base of the penis because when you put on weight, your penis, it gets sucked in. So you have to make sure that you opening up the spot and cleaning it. I mean, we do have some people, both sex, as you said, they do not even exploit their body when they taking showers. We have couples who cannot even take showers together because it's either that they feel disgusted or they're not used to doing something like that. They don't want to try nothing new, or they hiding something from their partner. I mean, like when you are married, you have to be transparent, right?
yeah.
I love taking showers with my hubby because that's the time that you get to know other side of your partner. But most couples don't do that. And trimming their nails, their toenails, their fingers, that's also important because when you have dirt in your nails and you touch your woman in her sensitive area, she can get infected, right? But some people don't know that. Some
Well,
people don't
thi-
know that.
this is why we say that, you know, being hygienic, it's critical. You know,
That's right.
it's something that it's a must.
Hmm.
Particularly, I said, particularly in this day and age. And remember, look, the human body is not a taboo thing.
Hmm.
Being naked is not a taboo thing. You know, exploring your body, exploring each other's body,
Yeah.
not a taboo thing.
Hmm.
Let's stop being so doggone standoffish about it and so private about it to whereas we can't be transparent when it comes to somebody who we love, who we're with. We're married to this person, and at the same time, it's like it's standoffish. It's almost as if, okay, if I have to pass gas, I have to go all the way into the corner of the room or wherever, whatever, what have you. But
Before I can let it rip,
right. But, what do you do when it comes out and it just
you
happens?
don't have
You know,
control of it.
yeah. Do you feel ashamed of yourself? Do you feel a boom? Or you just simply say, excuse me, and open a window and move on and go about your business? I mean, but see, this is how natural intimacy and sex is. This
Hmm.
is how natural it is. So let's stop associating it with stuff that's so private and so taboo that, oh, it's a no-no. You understand what I'm saying? It's a no-no. I can't, no. Because what you're creating is a life of boredom.
That's right. I mean, people don't. Most people don't want to learn uh, things that will be more beneficial in the future, right? People focus more on things that, like, arouse them at the moment. They're not proactive enough. I mean, sex education is something that we all have been kids before, and we are going to grow up. And when you do grow up and you get into relationships and get married, yes, sex is going to be part of the relationship and that marriage. So how best can you um, educate yourself, be able to be more knowledgeable of the things that you can and cannot do? We do have couples that do have sex that is not even healthy sex, right? So you have to differentiate between healthy sex and non-healthy sex. Big man, how do you deal with a partner who does not want to try nothing new? They just comfortable, as you mentioned, in the missionary position, and they don't want to try nothing else. How do you deal with such person because they don't want to do nothing new?
Okay, here's the deal. And being able to, we all like to feel satisfied.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm really leery about folks who are not open to trying new things with their spouse and their loved ones, but at the same time, you know, the side chick, you know, or the easy, piece,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you like the blowjob that you get from her.
Your side chick, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, right, but at the same time, okay, no, I'm not putting my lips on anybody's vagina.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? How selfish can you be?
Mm-hmm.
You
They
know,
want
and
to receive, but they don't want to do
yeah.
nothing.
So I'm really leery about folks who are not susceptible to trying new things. Are
Mm-hmm.
you susceptible in receiving, or you're not susceptible into giving?
Hmm.
You understand? So that part I had to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
And there are literally folks who just don't know. I mean, part of their culture and their upbringing, they don't know. There's a lot of guys who don't know, what it's like, to get a blowjob, or to, and perform the same thing on their wife. They don't know. But now, when you see the type of orgasm that your wife has,
Mm-hmm.
have your lips on her vagina,
Yeah,
then try it a little bit more often. You
that's
understand? Now, at the same time, you know, look, no one says, that overnight, you have to open yourself up to all new things.
that's right. You have
You
to take one day at a time.
Day at a time, of course. And it's important that you try these things so that you can find out things that you're comfortable with, things that you can draw the line and say, no, you understand what I'm saying? Look, it's like, look, you cannot put your penis in my butthole because it hurts and I don't like that. I'm uncomfortable with it.
That's right.
It's fine. Okay, cool. I got that. You understand what I'm saying? But there's so many positions and things that you can open yourself up into and to try, that you will enjoy. And,
Mm-hmm.
and your wife will enjoy, you will enjoy, or whatever. But you can't be closed minded.
There's a lot going around with
And,
that. The
and
close-minded.
my thing is, if you're going to be closed minded with your spouse and then use the excuse of cheating or having a side, whatever, because, oh, well, we don't do these things and we don't try these things. Well, you never communicated about trying or doing those things. Remember what I said in the beginning: communication is key.
Most
Talk.
people don't have that. They don't, big men, some couples, one or both of them do not know how to have effective communication because they were never taught and they refuse to learn communication skills. And some of them know a little bit about communication skills, but they do not have active listening. They don't have the other piece that can be constructive, so
Oh,
it is really difficult. Welcome,
okay.
everyone.
So in relationships, we have couples to where the only thing they know is taking down their pants and putting the penis in the vagina, and that's
That's right, as
okay.
simple as that.
So now, let's start with the communication here,
Mhm.
because it's something that's very simple, right? Okay,
Yes,
something that's very simple, but when you have a dry penis going into a dry vagina, that's not,
it's not
you know,
going to be
it's
nice.
not,
It's
it,
not going to feel good. It's hurt.
it's not. It's not. So something as simple as a lubricant could
Mhm.
make things the world of difference. Well, you're not putting that lubrication on your penis and sticking it in my vagina. Well, there are natural lubricants to where it's not going to damage your vagina or
That's right.
damage your penis, but it'll make life a whole lot pleasurable for the both of you if you
That's right.
take the time to do it.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. You're right, big man.
So it's like, okay, so let's start with the communication there. Could we at least use some type of natural? You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? There's no impurities in Vaseline. Vaseline is just 100% petroleum jelly. That's it. You
Mhm.
understand? And a little bit of it can take you a long, long way. And now in instances to whereas you have um look, let's make life fun for us. Okay, particularly those who live in places where there are, what do you call them? I think sex shops. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
We can go to a movie, we can go out to dinner, you know,
Yes.
we can do a lot of things. But you ever thought the two of you just going into a sex shop and just laughing and having fun at some of the stuff that you see?
No,
You,
you're going to do the do.
yeah, you understand? It's a fun experience, just to be able to go in there and maybe come out, with even just something as simple as a nice lingerie outfit, where the holes in the middle of the thing, so it's
That's a turn on.
yeah, it's something fun to do. You understand what I'm saying? Take the time to stop being so closed minded and open yourself up to just even, and look, let me just, I'll put it out there. We go to the movies, right? And we watch movies. They have sex scenes in the movies or whatever have you, but they're really, really subliminal. You understand what I'm saying? But you go to a sex shop and you get a movie from there that's like triple X or X rated, you might learn some stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
I'm not talking about the S&Ms and the whip stuffs and the booms and the chains.
Oh no, no, no. We're talking
That's
about
that
the
that
regular norm stuff.
no, no, I'm not talking about the extreme. Okay. I'm just talking about the very, very basics. Educate yourself. You can educate yourself through books. You can educate yourself through movies. You can educate yourself.
Online.
You can educate yourself in so many ways. And
Mhm.
and check this out. Imagine educating yourselves together as opposed to separate. You
The
know,
more the merrier.
and look, let's not be culturally closed minded,
Mm, 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 mm.
because what's going to happen is you're either going to end up in a marriage that's not going to last very long.
That's right.
People say, well, sex doesn't make the marriage. You know what? Let me tell you
It's
something.
one of the important components in marriages.
Let me tell you something. If you have a marriage and you don't have any money or income, neither one of you, okay, how long is your marriage going to last?
Not that long.
Okay. Well, if you have a marriage and you don't have any sex going on, how long do you think your marriage is going to last?
Not that long.
If you're doing this one position for 20 to 10 years, you're not even going to get to 10 freaking years doing that same position.
Yeah,
You understand?
it's going to bore you out of mind. Make time for loving, because sometimes you have mostly the females, because most male complains that most of the females will say that they are tired, they're busy, but they're doing all the house chores, taking care of the kids. So it's like, help your partner, your female partner, take some of the work load off them, do it together so you have enough time to make love.
Yeah. It's important to really remember,
Hmm.
that all work and no play, and I hate to use the cliche, makes you a really freaking dull person. And it makes you a really, really boring person. So again, let's not be so closed minded to where we're not opening ourselves up to having fun.
That's right. And big man, you made a great point about talking about what works for you, because some couples, they misunderstand because of the communication is not effectively. If, let's say, cowgirl works for me, my husband, I need to have conversation with my husband. So in between the love making, we are going to have a session of cowgirl, whereas I'm in charge. If a different position works for doggy, works for my husband, we're going to make sure that we switch to that. So you compromise in your love making, having sex or having quickies, whichever way is going on. But I just feel like some couples, they don't have that timing, to talk about what works for them, because they just want to get it over with, due to them being bored, or their partner not being romantic and intimate enough. And it's not hard for one to be romantic. Is it? Is it hard
No,
for
it's not. It's not. But you have to be comfortable enough to communicate
Mhm.
and say what's comfortable for you and what's not comfortable for me. You
That's
understand what I'm saying? Trust and believe. I cannot make love to my wife with slippery socks on a slippery floor. It doesn't work for me. You
hmm
understand? And so I have to let my wife know. Look, you got to give me time. I got to take these socks off. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be slipping and sliding. You
that's right.
you have to know that when you're in a position as a male and your penis is in the up position, it's not going to be as gratifying as when it is in the down position. I'm,
That's
I'm
right.
I'm talking about just facing down,
Yes,
hard facing down. It's more stimulating, it's more boom. But these are things that you have to find out. And if you don't expose yourself to different positions and things of that nature, you won't know.
that's right. Big man, is it important for a wife or a husband to ask their partner about their sexual
No.
fantasies?
That's just so wonderful. That, being, we all have fantasies. You understand what I'm saying? And fantasies can be something as simple as a very, very short skirt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fantasies can be something as simple as painted nails, toenails, and fingernails, or whatever. Look, we don't walk around. Well, some of us
Mm-hmm.
don't walk around with skimpy clothing in public.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Some of us, don't walk around our house with silk or lace, underwears and panties or whatever, stimulating things.
That's right.
Saying so if you would like for me to put on a short skirt with no panties underneath and clean the house or whatever, fine you. Boom. If that's you have to tap in. That's fun.
Okay.
That's fun. Fantasies and boom, it's fun. It makes life, boom. Something as simple as, well, how can I satisfy you today? You understand what I'm saying? And let's not be selfish. When I say selfish, selfish is simply this. You know, if you feel that your spouse comes home or your husband comes home or your wife comes home, right, and you just want to satisfy them by orally stimulating their vagina,
Mm-hmm.
okay, do it and be content. Don't sit there, okay, it's my turn now. You understand?
you,
It's,
you spoiled the mood. You spoiled the
you
mood with
understand?
that stuff.
I'm tired as hell. You stimulated me. You relaxed me. You understand what I'm saying? You boom. I enjoyed you orally stimulating my vagina. I don't. My jaws and my boom. I've been speaking all day in front of an audience. So boom. I don't have the jaws to boom to perform. Oral stimulation on your penis right now.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Don't get mad at me or whatever, whatever have you. So the thing is, it's like, look, let's not be selfish.
That's right.
Sometimes it's okay just to satisfy your wife. You understand what I'm saying? In ways that doesn't mean, okay, it's my turn now. You understand what I'm saying? And vice versa. You understand? And it's okay to do that. It's okay. And I tell folks, look, foreplay is fun.
hmm
Foreplay is fun. It's not a taboo thing. It's
Yes,
you
it's
know,
exciting.
it's really, really exciting. You understand what I'm saying? And be mindful that let's not be selfish about it.
hmm
If you're taking the opportunity to do, just simply do. You understand? Even if it's something as simple as, look, I know that my wife is tired. You understand what I'm saying? And there are days, because I know she works on her feet or whatever have you. And there are days where she'll come home or boom, whatever, and I'll massage her feet, and her calves and her legs and the back of her neck or whatever, whatever. And after doing that, I'm like, okay, well, my back hurts too. You understand what I'm saying? So you boom. No, let's not be, let's,
You big man use that selfless attitude,
yeah,
it's selfless. I mean, like, we do have some partners, who are selfish. It's always them getting it, and if they do something for you, you have to like repay them back, which is like I think is just pathetic, right?
that's
They,
so
some of
selfish.
them don't know how to give without having to demand something back. And it happens with couples who don't have better understanding of each other. It's like they do things like they're competing with one another instead of just being together. You said earlier, complimenting your spouse is the most beautiful thing one can do, because it makes your partner feel needed, wanted, and appreciated, touching one another. Like, for me, I'm very clingy. I love to touch my husband, like sometimes he'll be sitting down, I will go sit on his lap, or go from behind, put my hands over his shoulders, touching his arms or like feet, legs. I just love doing that, and I, seeing his reaction in each one of them, because I'm trying to exploit. And then you get used to it when you're not having sex. So like when you are having sex or making love or doing whatever quickie, you know exactly where to touch your partner,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To make them feel good. It is really important for us to like certify each other. A lot of people don't realize smiling, laughing is the best therapy that you can have. Laugh with each other, laugh at each other without the other person getting upset or annoyed. But do know your husband or your wife's temperament, right? Know their mood. How do you help them when they look like they're feeling stressed? How do you help them? Some people don't know how to massage. Learn how to do it. You go on the internet, you read books and stuff. We have all the tools out there, but big man, most of us don't do look for them.
Well, my thing is, you know, marriage in particular is an investment.
Hmm.
You're investing in each other's lives.
That's right.
So it's take the time to educate yourself,
Hmm.
to learn, okay? And don't be so close-minded,
Hmm.
to whereas you're not willing to explore, you're not willing to educate, you're not willing to communicate. Because if that's the case, then you made a bad investment and can get the hell out of your marriage.
That's
You
right.
see what I'm saying? And I hate to say that, and be so candid about it,
Hmm.
because when it comes to marriage, marriage is a sacred thing. You're
Yeah.
supposed to, it's everlasting or whatever, whatever. But I'm sorry. I am not going to stay in a marriage to whereas I'm not happy. I'm not going to stay in a marriage to whereas it's boring.
Mm,
I'm not going to stay in a marriage to whereas things are just so close minded that I'm,
that's right.
you understand? I'm saying, no, I'm not going, that's not what I made the investment for.
That's
So
right.
if I'm going to invest into getting married, then
Hmm.
I'm going to invest in the time,
That's
excuse me, to continue to educate myself
right. Hmm.
so that I can better satisfy my spouse. Plain and simple.
That's right. Evangelist G George G Yamawakaba. By the grace, I am doing quite well. Sister Fia, how are you? I mean, like big man, I think some couples they don't know how to be spontaneous. Like um I have heard stories, some men tells me um, that their wives, make a schedule for them when they can have sex. So that was my reaction. Exactly. I was like, you say what? Like, are you kidding me? And there are some men who are unable to have sexual interaction with their wife over a month, sometimes 2, 3 months, and they cannot be with their wife because the wife is plainly refusing to have any sexual interaction with. It's like it's a form of punishment. So how do you like stay in this type of marriages? And then you do have some wives who does live in, they go to their job and they stay there for weeks and months before they come home, and then when they come home they get themselves busy, they're not giving some to their wives. And then we also hear stories of some women who does living and they sleeping with their clients. So how do you like, as a man, having your wife, because I just feel like as a married woman, you should not be doing living, you should do live out because you do have a husband at home.
Yeah.
It's not my choice to make for them. It's their marriage, it's their life, so they can do whatever. But I mean, I can see myself sleeping elsewhere where my husband is sleeping home alone. I don't know how that works for some couples.
Well, I know there are times where I'm away from home,
Mm-hmm.
and I take trips, to whereas I have business, in a different state, or if I'm doing something for a family member,
Mm-hmm.
moving them down to the Carolinas or whatever, and I'm not in my bed or I'm not at home for that evening.
Mm-hmm.
I have, dual. I have, um, I have FaceTime. I have a lot of things to where I can visually communicate, with my spouse,
Okay.
throughout the night, throughout the evening, or whatever have you.
Yeah, that's after the
So
roofing.
I understand situations to where as we have families, they have to resort, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and things of that nature, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
make the time to make yourself visual to where you're able to communicate. You can say goodnight to your kids. You can talk to your husband or whatever have you. You can do those things. If you're taking the time to have overnight clients, and you're cheating and you're doing stuff like that, you can bet your spouse is going to find out. And I recommend that you just simply get out of the marriage.
That's right.
It's not healthy to anyone.
Yeah.
Um, for those of you, who can't and your business requires that, I get it. So do it that way with the video time, the FaceTime, the duo time, or whatever, so that you can put one another to sleep over the phone or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
visually
Mm-hmm.
seeing each other. You know, I do recommend that if you're married and you have a family, find a different line of work to where you're not overnight or doing those things. But if you drive trucks, if you're boom, if you're things like that and you're on the road, make it your business to have FaceTime or video time because it's valuable. Skype, whatever you can do, because it's it's reassuring, it's comforting, and if you don't have it, then make sure your phone is charged and that you fall asleep, you know or that you're on the phone with your spouse, and they can fall asleep hearing your voice, you're in conversation as if you were there, because it's important to do that. And like I said, if it's any other way and there's hanky panky going on here or there, then you want to get out of your marriage, because that's not fair, to the
To the other spouse. I mean, big man, there are men and women who are married and do not know what quickies are, how to even have quickies.
other. First of all, they're and they okay, to start off with, there's no stipulations with quickies.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? If you are in that particular, and it's when I say it's fun, if You can get a quickie in the back seat of the car if you're on the road. Fine, get a quickie in the back seat of the car when the two of you are on a road, on a drive, or whatever. If you can get a quickie when the kids go to the store to get candy, and the two of you are in the house, and you can get a quickie that way, it's fun. you
Yeah.
know so there's no stipulations as to where. Quickie is very, very spontaneous. It's whatever. It's gratifying. It's not being selfish. It's not something that's going to boom. And trust and believe, you both may not have an orgasm during that quick.
Yes, because
you know,
it's quickie.
it's quick. We take what we can get, but it's fun, and it's
Yeah.
like being sneaky. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, hey, look, you'll be amazed where quickies take place.
That's what makes it fun because you don't plan it, you just do it, and it's like you even though you live in your own marital home, it's like you sneaking around, especially if kids are involved and your children go out to get McDonald's or as you said, candy, something from the store. You just want to do balabim balaboom, and by the time they get back, the two of you, like, you sitting there like nothing happened.
Because I told my wife, you and I, we both can't go to the bathroom down in, because I can't guarantee you what's going to happen. It's
Oh my god.
hey, look, quickies take place wherever they happen.
Exactly. Make sure you don't go and have it in the public place. We're not
Yeah,
saying go to the community and in the middle of the street have quickies. No, we're not
no,
saying that.
we're not
It's
talking like that. We're
you
just,
you do it in a secretive place, whereas you sneaking out to do something like that. We do have some couples, but I think big men, that is extreme. They will go to someone else's home for a funeral or get together, and then they find themselves in the bathroom doing it. I think that is kind of like disrespectful to go to somebody's house to go and have a quickie.
yeah, it is. Try the garage or behind your house or something like that, but not.
Exactly. Don't go to somebody's house to go have quickies. We do know like the spontaneous thing is kind of exciting and
It
turns people on, but please don't go have quickie in places that you're not supposed to have
yeah,
those type of
it's
activities. It's at your own personal space. If it's in your car, that's your car. Nobody can do nothing about it, but make sure that you're doing it in a safe place, that you don't get yourself in trouble. Don't go out in the community and be indecent, because that can get you arrested, right, big man?
You sure can. Indecent exposure.
Welcome. And a lot of men, big men, when it comes to any sexual interaction, we do have some of our men. Most men will take the lead, right? And they prefer taking the lead. And but we do also have some women who also wants their husband to allow them to also take the lead. But some men are too, their ego is so big, they don't feel comfortable allowing their wives to lead when they having sexual intercourse, making
Here's
love or.
here's the thing to remember.
Mhm.
If you can be satisfied and gratified with your wife being on top, even more so than you can with you taking the lead, well, you might want to have your wife on top a little bit more often.
and and
So,
and I don't exactly, because the more we are on top, it give us control, but at the same time you guys enjoy as much as the wife enjoys, right?
it's nothing more gratifying than looking into your wife's eyes at that point of orgasmic convulsions. It's gratifying. It's stimulating. It's boom. And if that happens more when she's on top, goddamn sweetheart, get on top. you
Oh,
know,
definitely. And
let's look. Let's not let our egos get in the way of intimacy.
yes.
It doesn't. It has no place
Mhm.
in intimacy. You understand what I'm saying? It really doesn't. You know, getting your groove on is fun. You
Mhm.
know, intimacy is fun.
Yeah,
Romance is fun.
yeah,
Communicating with each other about it is not taboo.
that's
It's fun. Open your minds, open your heart, explore one another, take the time to increase your investment. Take your investment of marriage to the next level when it comes to intimacy, when it comes,
right.
you understand what I'm saying? No, your wife doesn't have to dress like, hoochie in public and things like that. But who's to say you might have some fantasies to where you want to see her walking around the house like that?
Of
But,
course,
but
having a pum pum short
yeah,
skirt or
so it's like, look, let's not be closed minded, standoffish, and closed mouth to where you can't communicate with each other about wants, desires, and needs. We as couples, we meet on likenesses, when romance and things that we do, and then we get married and we just don't do stuff anymore. We don't.
yeah, big man. And a lot of people don't want to experiment each other. Even like as simple as like um feeding each other, right? Like you eating with your spouse, you take the fork or the spoon and scoop up food and feed him, and him feeding you. And
Romantic.
some don't know how to do that.
That's romantic. Simple tongue kissing is romantic.
Exactly.
If you're not comfortable with it because you don't know how, well then learn. Open your minds, open your things. Um, sis, any questions for me? Because I have to wrap up. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think I basically asked most of the questions and stuff. One question I want to put out there, though,
Sure.
we do have some couples, mostly see the females who had sent me some messages on Messenger, asking. We do have some couples, where one partner likes to use, toys, kind of, to go to the next level, but their partners are not for it. So, like, if you have couples who are not able to compromise, one likes to, have extra toys around to like play with themselves, the other one does not. How do you compromise or like have a discussion to certify each other because you don't
Well,
like it, but your partner likes it? How do
well,
you go
the key
about
is, well, first and foremost, you said it yourself. It's having a discussion.
it? Hmm.
Being able to communicate. What's comfortable for you.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. You say that you don't like toys. Are there any type of toys that you are can be and willing to be comfortable with? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And are you and what are those reasons why you're not comfortable? So you have to really, really get into the deepness of it all, because one of the things that you may find is that that person is not so much adverse to toys, but maybe adverse to particular toys. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Because see, if you have a dildo that's bigger than his penis, you might have a complex about it.
that that is true. Can you imagine? Because he will feel insecure because
Right.
the dildo is bigger than his
Right.
own.
You understand what I'm saying? So let's really get into talk,
Hmm.
about those actual toys. What is it about the toys that you don't like? Is it all toys? Is it boom? Is it specifics? Because one thing you might find, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, well, look, I don't have a problem with the clit stimulators,
Hmm.
but I have a problem with the dildos. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't need a toy to supplement my penis.
That's true. And
You
what of the ones, because we do have some women who really focus on the size of their partner's penis. And if you have a partner who has like a smaller penis or like a medium size, but it's not as heavy as you want, yeah, how?
Well, let's speak for medical terms on this one. And when I
Yes,
say speak for medical terms, the sensitivity of your vagina is not deep inside your vagina.
yes,
It's right after the walls of the entry of your vagina.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So a man with a 4-inch, 5-inch hard on is willing to satisfy you as long as he has a hard on that stays hard for a period of time,
That's right.
because your sensitive areas of your vagina is not way back down deep, so you have the depiction of some women, they want their back broken out, whatever have,
They want the penis to touch their
yeah,
womb,
you
so
understand?
it doesn't matter the size.
But the bottom line is that a lot of women that I know find it uncomfortable. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? So it's like, in reality, in retrospect, you have those who, I mean, you have some women who like pain and who can endure pain. Boom, it's a turn on for them. It's almost like a whip, and being spanked, S&M, and things like that. So they want the 12-inch penis, or boom, breaking their back.
That's crazy. That's sick.
Okay, I get it. However, in medical terms, which is why so many women can come to an orgasm just with the simple tongue. Because once the tongue gets inside the vagina and gets all around, boom, right after the walls, whatever, it can bring you and get up into that clitoris and boom, or whatever, it can bring you to an orgasm. And
That's right.
me, I haven't seen too many tongues that's as big as a penis.
Exactly. You're
But
right.
you're able to be satisfied. You understand what I'm saying? Now, in addition to that, when you have, your wife on top, when you have your wife on top, their clitoris is actually rubbing against,
Rubbing
you
against.
understand what I'm saying, the
Yeah,
base of the penis in that area right there. So
yeah.
it's like, which is why there are times to whereas when you have that pelvic bone of the vagina pressing down on you and their clitoris rubbing and doing all that stuff,
So
you're,
it gives you that stimulation that
yeah,
you need to have the orgasm.
that's right. So that's what happens. And so they're able to have that orgasm while they're on top, where there may be times, whereas with that bone pressing against you, your penis may go down from the pain, but
Mhm.
it's still inside the vagina. So
Exactly.
they're still going to have that orgasm because of the friction between that clitoris rubbing on top of you and also the fact that your penis, even though it went down, it's still inside and it's stimulating right after those walls. So it really doesn't matter,
Your size.
you understand what I'm saying, if you're 12 inches or if you're 6 inches. You understand what I'm saying? Don't believe the hype. That's all I can say is don't believe the hype. The thing is that it's the fact of having a penis and being able
Use it.
to mask a hard on. If you can get a hard on and you can keep the staying power, then that's fine. If you have a problem with the staying power, I recommend you exercise that pubopsychosis muscle, which is the same muscle that contracts when you're peeing.
Hmm.
Okay, that muscle, you can sit down and you can exercise it, and people wouldn't even know that
That's
you're
right.
you can exercise it 500 times a day if you're sitting in your office. You
Yeah,
can. And
yeah,
nobody will ever know because you're constantly, constricting, contracting, and boom, that muscle. I call it
yeah.
you can call it the P muscle, or whatever muscle you want to call it. And the more that you exercise, the less that you would even have to rely on Viagra and stuff like that that's unnatural.
That's right.
So take the time to do that, educate yourself, don't be so closed-minded, because if you do, you're going to find yourself with very, very boring sex life.
Most definitely. Well, thank you, big man, for your time. I learned a lot today. I'm going to take a lot with me, but people who are having problems, having trouble with their sex, maybe it would be important to visit a sex therapist, right, big man?
Don't hesitate to reach out. Anybody has any,
Exactly.
they could pass them along, and you can get it to me, and I'll be glad to give any type of feedback. Okay.
Most definitely, big man.
All right.
So
Thanks for having me, sis.
Oh, thank you for coming through. I always enjoy talking to you and asking. There's no limitation as to the things that I could ask my brother-in-law, big man.
No question about it.
Yeah. So we want to thank each and every one of you who tune in, those who shared the program, and those who contributed. Brother Big Love, thank you so very much. So you guys have a wonderful Sunday.
Yes,
Have
indeed.
a
Much
blessed.
love to the audience. Bye bye, everyone.
Yes. Bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, big man.
Bye bye.
Okay. Love you guys. One love. One love.